Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all the esteemed guests, faculty members, students, and innovators here today. We are gathered here for a very special event organized by Institution Innovation Cell IIC, protecting intellectual property rights and IP management for startups by Advocate Akash Khurana, Legal Associate at NCLT Principal Bench under President Honorable Justice Ramalingam Sudhakar, exclusively for IMT College of Management. As we know, innovation is the heart of the progress, and our institution's innovation cell has been relentlessly working to nurture creative minds and guide them to the path of success. Today, we will witness how our dynamic faculty members push the boundaries of knowledge, creating solutions for real-world problems. Before we move ahead, it is an honor to introduce the dignitary who has joined us today. On the behalf of the entire institution, we extend a warm welcome to Advocate Akash Khurana. He is a legal associate at NCLT, Principal Bench under President Honorable Justice Ramalingam Sudhakar. He is a CS final student. He is a LLB graduate 2022 batch and worked as legal associate at Appellate Tribunal for Electricity 2022-23 under Justice Ramesh Ramnathan, chairperson as APTL, ex-Chief Justice of Andhra Pradesh. We are delighted to have you with us. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome Advocate Akash Khurana on the dais.
Yeah, am I audible properly? So it is basically the convergence of management field with the legal field. I'm not from a management background, but from a legal background. And I'll keep it very simple. On trot, 30 minutes, that's all. It's not a senior-junior relationship, nothing like that. You can ask anything. You are my younger colleagues, that's all. So, if you see the Transfers of Property Act, it defines two types of properties. It says movable property and immovable property. Immovable property is which you cannot detach from the earth, embedded into the earth. Intellectual property has not been defined anywhere. Not been defined anywhere, not in any legislation, any code, nothing of that sort. This origins from the WIPO which we signed with the Paris and all that agreements. So what is an intellectual property? Intellectual property is basically, to be very simplistically putting it, it's your intellect, that is your property. You have a right over it, you have an exclusive right to use it. It should not be used by anybody else. So what do we mean by that? Now intellectual property means, say for example, Mr. A, Mr. X, Mr. B has an invention. It's his mind, it's his intellect which has brought that invention into picture. That invention, he has an exclusive right over it. Nobody else has the exclusive right to use that. If anybody uses that, he infringes his right. You have a right before the court, go before, get an injunction, protect your right. Now this intellectual property may be in the form of an invention, your literary work, artistic work, any product, any startup, anything. Now say for example, if you go for any startup, you may name anything. Before 10 years, we won't be able to know what is this e-commerce websites, what is Airbnb, what is this Flipkart, what is this, anything, Ola or something like that. So these all are startups. When it comes to intellectual property, say for example, we have divided it into 5-6 parts, ongoing process to add legislations on the part. So basically we have 4: patents, copyrights, then we have this geographical indication, Designs Act, Trademarks Act, and then we have added Plants Variety Act also recently. What is patent? Now patent is any invention, but that does not include what? Say for example, you mix A plus B, potassium plus sodium, and you make sodium potassium, and you say this is my invention. That is not patent. You cannot get a registration over it. It's a non-patentable item. You say, I have invented something which is against the integrity of India. That cannot be patent. Patent is simple, your invention, that's all. You have invented something. Flipkart comes with a process that, see, I have this process, this is simplistic. For example, Airbnb. Last 5 years, this Airbnb is one of the finest startups in the Indian ecosystem. What do? You book a plot, you book a residence, going out, You book. That process was not feasible pre 10 years, pre 5 years. So that is their process. Nobody, Airbnb also offers, this working spaces right now. So that is their process, that is their invention, which they brought into the Indian ecosystem, got that patented. Now it's not a process. I would say Airbnb has that logo, A and B. What is that? It's a trademark. That's not a patent. Trademark is a mark, symbol, which which differentiates you from the other businesses. Now say for example, you go onto a highway. You see that M sign. What is that M? M is McDonald's. So they put that billboard so high that from a kilometer behind, you can just adjust that this is McDonald's and we can have our fast food there. So that M is the indication that it is McDonald's, it is differentiated from others, it is a trademark. It's a mark which establishes a business, which establishes that I am different from somebody else. Please recognize me through this mark. Who all are from Delhi? Delhi se kaun hai? So have you been to this Khan Market? So Khan Market mein there is a non-vegetarian food chain, Khan Chacha. Everybody knows that. Now that Khan Chacha has only a single outlet in Khan Market. That Khan Chacha name is being used by every single outlet in local markets. So that Khan Chacha filed a suit before the Delhi High Court saying that see my name is being used by every other outlet depicting that we are Khan Chacha. So they got an injunction order from High Court. Now what is an injunction order? I'll tell you these are the legal challenges which they face. Say for example a trademark suit is filed before the High Court stating that see this is my mark, this is registered, this is being used by somebody else, it is infringing my right. Every other person is thinking that see a local market having Khan Chacha is the same Khan Chacha which is in Khan Market. So this is a deceptively tactics being used by a small local vendor. So that Khan Chacha brand files a trademark suit before the Delhi High Court stating that see my trademark is being misused, please protect me. Now the problem is that trademark suit would be going on for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and that till then that name would diminish, its value will diminish. So what they move before the High Court is a simple stay application. Then please stay the operation. Let's get an interim order. So they filed for it, they got an interim order. Interim order says that restrain means every other local vendor who uses that is an infringement of that right and that would be punishable under the trademarks. This is a classic example of trademark. Patent I have told you. Patent is your invention. Invention comes into picture. You do not say it should be deceptive. It should not be against the integrity of India. It should not be, if you say sodium potassium mix, sodium potassium ban gaya, sodium potassium is my invention. It's not your invention. These are two distinct things, were already there in their nature, you have just adjusted them, you have not done anything new. So that is patent, trademark. Now comes your copyright. What is copyright? Copyright is basically your literary work, a cinematographic. What is literary work? What is this artistic work? You draw a drawing. आपने drawing बनाई, आपने movie बना दिया, आपने reels बना दिया. Reels are not, copyrighted under the Copyrights Act, but however I am just giving you a classic example. Let's say for example you prepare a reel, a 10 minutes reel depicting the history of India, present, future. It's a 10 minute and very informative. And you say that this is my work, this should not be used by anybody else. It's a copyright. You can get a copyright. Movie ke upar copyright, you cannot use those contents in a next movie. Those are copyrights. So you have a copyright because of the artistic work, the mind you use, you want that those works should not be used by anybody else. Third one was copyright. So we covered patent, copyrights, trademark. Now Designs Act. In the field of science and technology, you would realize that there are designs being developed by the engineers and those architectures. Now say for example there is a design, a cup design. For example, you go to Archie's earlier, now it has faded away. You go to Archie's. Archie's used to have a cup named AR. That was a product which was developed by them back 20 years when there was no market of this gift shopping or window shopping, something like that. Before 20 years, you would realize there was nothing called gift shopping. Nothing. Post that, when it came into picture, Archie's one of the finest brands in Delhi, across India, which was selling these gifts. Archie's had a cup. That cup was AR. That was sold like anything. You see the revenues, it was sold like anything. But it vanished away. Why? First of all, vanishing was because they didn't change their, the structure, they didn't adapted the current market. But then that was a design that they developed. Now, for example, Mr. A, Mrs. A, develops sitting at home, say that no, this microphone should look like this. This is my design. Boat. If you see that Boat earphones, if you see that Vivo earphones or whatever, that Boat earphones are specifically designed by that Boat company. They have a design over it. They have registered under it. So we have a legislation, Designs Act. Patent, copyright, trademarks, design. Now then there is Plant Varieties Act. If you see there is this geographical indication. Geographical indication would be very typical for you to understand. It's a geographically designed indication which establishes that I belong to this country, I belong to this state. So it designed their product in that. We will not go into that. Parallelly now, this was intellectual property. Your intellect becomes your property. You have a right over it. You have to use it. Exclusive right. You can get yourself registered. If anybody infringes your right, you can just go to the courts. Please say, I am registered. He's using my trademark, my copyright or something. Please restrain them. Parallelly, I have come on to what is a startup. A startup is an economically, socially viable business. It's your invention. Now, say for example, name any startup, please. कोई से भी startup का नाम बताइए आप. कोई सा भी बता दें. जो भी दिमाग में है. Lenskart. बताओ. Sorry. Zepto. This is an invention by the owner, that company. Let's see, I'm using Lenskart. I'm dealing in these lenses. The local vendor shall vanish. I'll offer some big discounts. I'll offer these 6,000 Raven lenses into 3,000. It's his automatically developed online platform which gives you access to get lenses right away, right down. You do not have to go to the stores. You can just Google it, do it, go onto their websites, get it. It's a startup. Pre 10 years, nobody would have imagined that we can get our lenses right away on Google or on Lenskart website, whatever it is. Pre 10 years, Flipkart was one of the famous startup developer, famous online e-commerce site. It was a profit running startup. And I mean that profit running means only there are 5 to 9% startups which are running profitably. Otherwise, every other startup is a loss-making startup. Every other startup. Swiggy, loss-making. Zomato, it was profitable in one financial year. Other financial year, it was a loss-making profit. Then comes Airbnb. Airbnb is a profit-making in couple of financial years. Otherwise, it was a loss-making. Still, they survive because that startup is an invention that is backed by the government. To help them, say for example, this boy sitting in front of me comes up with an invention, says I want to have this. मुझे लोगों की cater करना है needs को. वो catering of the needs become his idea. He develops that into business. That business becomes his startup. Now to promote those startups, government comes up with an NPR policy, 2016. That startup needs backing. He's a new boy. He needs funding. So where he gets funding from? That is seed funding. So there are three types of funding: seed funding, venture capitals, and angel funds. Seed funding is the funds he uses is from his pockets. He takes 10,000 from his father, takes 10,000 from his sister, takes 5,000 from his pocket, starts that business, and start catering to the needs of the people residing neighbor to him. So that is a startup. He funds like that. 10,000 he takes from his father, 10,000 from his sister, 5 from his own pocket, 25 he invests in that business, cater to the needs of the neighbors, and that becomes a business. Post 25 he says that within 6 months I've been able to, let people know that this is my business. Now people know if they want to use, they come to me. Post 25,000 he needs more fund now. He wants an office space. He wants an organization. He wants employees who could help him. So that helping would come from fund investors, whether it is a venture fund, whether it is an angel fund. Now what is an angel fund? Angel fund is basically angel investors. So there is a technical definition given under the angel investor rules. It says that it's a private individual giving you crore of rupees saying that, see, I see that your business is evaluated at so and so crore rupees. It has worth. Coming 5 years, it will just vanish the market. I'll invest 1 crore rupees into your business. Give me 5% of equity. That 5% of equity means now you are owner of only 95%, not 100%. That 5% goes to him. He gives you 1 crore. You get the funds. You become 95% owner. You get the equity. So he sees valuation in your business. He sees आपका जो idea है that has viability in the coming market. I'll invest you. So you get fund from them. Now how government backs you? So startup is an invention of your idea which you developed into a business catering the needs of your people. Government says that we are there to support your business because this business will go hand in hand. This is the future of our economy. Government says that we'll give you tax optimization. Tax optimization sees you can get 3 years tax leverages. 3 years का tax leverage मिलता है आपको startups के अंदर government की तरफ से. आपको minimum compliance के ऊपर you can work. Say for example you want this environmental issues. So for example if you develop a business in Noida or Greater Noida, you have to get a environment clearance certificate from DTCP, from the local magistrate and all that environment, NGT. That is being relived when it comes to startup. You start a business, that environmental clearance you do not have to get from the government or any authority. You can just self-certify stating that I have complied with all the environmental laws. I am self-certified. So this is a compliance which is being waived off for the startups. First was tax, waived off for 3 years. Then was this environmental. Then comes into picture minimum process. Say for example, you have developed a startup, you want to file for a patent, you want to file for a product, something copyright. Now that process is too much long and it's very intricate. So the government backs you, government gives you assistance, government gives you stock. Say, I have a team, I'll give you these people, they'll assist you, please file it, and a 90-day time period has been established. You get the certification right away. So that is basically giving you third option. What it is? Compliance management. Now challenges. Challenges are, say for example, a litigation comes into picture. You have filed a trademark. You are a startup. You have got the trademark. You have got the designs. Whatever it is registered with the government. Now a litigation comes into picture. How will you afford a legal counsel? They charge 10 lakh per hearing. 10 lakh per hearing before the High Court. A senior legal counsel. How would you fund that litigation? So that's a big challenge for startups. First benefit was government giving you a tax leeway. Second was compliance leeway. Third was environmental leeway. Any other? DPIT policy. So there is this Department of Promotional Income something organization of the government which gives you full back stating that we are supporting you, we are standing. How much do they support? It's practically I don't know. But still there are policies in place which gives you leeway over them. Now next comes into picture, you get intellectual property support as well. So for example, you have to file for a trademark when you have a startup in place. So they'll provide you a support, intellectual, how to get the trademark registered, what is the time limit for it. So you'll get full support. The next we get is legal and regulatory support. You'll also get this awareness programs. National IPR policy expenses. Say for example, there is also this DPIT has a panel of professionals, insolvency professionals. We have this IP professionals on the panel of the government assisting you, stating that these panel will provide you professional competence, stating that, meaning thereby you would not have to go through that intricate process of registering your startup with the government. You will get funds. Practically, I do not know what funds you get. Still, paperwork shows that you get a backing from the government. We are the third largest ecosystem when it comes to startup. So parallelly, I told you what is intellectual property, 5, trademark, copyrights, designs, geographical indication and patents. These are prominently intellectual property. If something comes on, we cannot, assist or anticipate. Then parallelly, I have told you what is a startup, what does the government provide. So the convergence of both makes you understand that what is a startup. If you have started it, you have to protect your intellectual property. That's all. Nothing beyond that. It becomes easier. It becomes easier for you to have. It's very difficult to get a startup in place. But get the knowledge of your protection, that becomes easier for you. And the government has a policy in place stating that no, we are standing behind you, get it registered, protect your business. Let's come up with some example of any startup. Lenskart is done, Airbnb is done, Ola. Ola 10 साल पहले आया. Who would know back then that we'll book a cab, it will be downstairs, हमारे घर के नीचे, and it will take you, to our destination. Nobody. It's one of the finest startups coming into the picture, the earliest one coming into the picture and giving us access to those cabs. We have a chauffeur with them. We just pay 100, 200, whatever the route is, and we get the access to a car. Who would have imagined back 10 years that we get a cab, book kara, 5 minutes, it's downstairs, there it is, we get a chauffeur also, a driver. Then comes into Zoom car. Zoom car pata hai sabko? Zoom car was there. Delhi में बहुत prevalent था. Zoom car, it gone a step ahead of what Ola provides. Ola says that I'll give you a car, I'll give you a driver, you just have to pay the rental expenses, whatever it may be. Zoom car says I'm a step ahead of you. I'll not give you a driver, I'll give you a car, drive it, take it, enjoy the car. You get Scorpio, you get Mercedes, you can afford whatever, you can afford a Bronx or whatever. They'll give you the car. You have to pay the rental only. So Zoom car was step ahead of it. But the problem was Zoom car never succeeded because our ecosystem never calls for that we can pay 5,000 per day for a car. Will not afford. So how do we differentiate? Ola was successful, still successful, competing with other Uber and all that. Next comes into picture Zoom car. Zoom car says, no chauffeur, only car. I'll give you cars. You drive it, take it wherever you want. But why did it fail? It failed because our ecosystem, our pockets does not allow us to pay 5,000, 10,000 per day for a car rented. If you had hired that car for 5 days, it becomes 50,000. So that is not feasible for you. It went out of the system like nothing else. Latest, Rapido, being used by everybody. Now Rapido comes 5 steps ahead. I say I cannot afford a car for just 4 kilometers. I'll not pay 200 to Ola cab. I'll not pay 200 for 4 kilometers. It's very expensive for me. The moment till the time the car comes to my residence, it will be very difficult for me to go into the car. हमें गलियों के अंदर से जाना, गाड़ी कैसे जाएगी? Rapido comes into picture. Rapido says I'll provide you bikes. Bike पे बैठो, go to destination, pay 50, 100, 70, whatever the fare may be, sit, go. It's again one of the finest successful startup, Rapido. Now Rapido comes, the Uber also starts it. It was the first. Rapido brought this two-wheeler concept first. But then this Uber adopted it, Ola adopted this. Problem comes in when the other person is snatching your idea, using it. But that service cannot be trademark, copyright, design. No. Cannot take that. See, for example, Rapido has started the service of two-wheelers. It is not an infringement by Ola while using those services. It's not an infringement. It's a deceptively similar, but it's not an infringement. You cannot file a suit by Ola files a suit, Rapido files a suit saying that my service मैंने शुरू किया था ये two-wheeler concept, Ola use कर रहा, it's an infringement. No, that cannot be. This is just a process. It's just adoption. So, for example, in management, I'm not aware of management studies, but if you see, those management people read about marketing strategies. So marketing strategies में होता है either you are a market pioneer, either you are a market challenger or a market follower. So market pioneer is a person, is a business that enters market right away. Technology adopt करते हैं, customers को adopt करते हैं, R&D के ऊपर पैसे लगाते हैं और first mover advantage business में लेते हैं. Then is a closed challenger. Closed challenger is a business which follows the pioneer. वो कहते हैं अगर ये कर रहा है, सही कर रहा है ना, तो मैं भी यही फॉलो करूँ, थोड़ा बहुत तो मैं भी कमा लूँ. So that is a closed challenger. So in this terms, Rapido becomes the closed pioneer, Ola becomes a closed challenger. It is challenging, it is giving neck-to-neck competition to Rapido. So these are certain examples of how startup works, how IP management is done, and how the government pushes you to get yourself protected under the law. Next thing, the litigation for this is very costly. IPR management. So you are not from law background, I don't think so anybody sitting here from law background. There are a couple of firms only, senior advocates only dealing with this IPR. So it's very difficult, it's very costly for this IP management. Go to High Court, get a serious stand there, he charges you 5 to 10 lakhs for hearing, just get any restrain on. So it becomes a challenge for you. Funding becomes a challenge for you. Giving equity interest becomes a challenge for you. So this is the convergence of how IPR works, how startup works. Examples, whatever I could just recollect, I gave you. You can just come up with anything. You are not my senior junior. There is no senior junior relationship here. You can come up with anything, ma'am, please, if they want.
Any questions from anyone? So that's given n number of examples and n number of ideas how to get your business started. Wait.
This is good. Maybe इसको भी trademark करा दो. Attendance.
No more.
We also used to do this. Sitting behind. However, I didn't sit behind 3 rows से पीछे नहीं बैठता था मैं ज़्यादा आगे जगह मिलती थी. But ये मैंने सोचा था एक बार कि इस copyright करा लिया जाए ये जो attendance sheet होती है ना, because उसके बाद exam में नहीं बैठने देते. But that's how it is. This is the process. Anybody, please, most welcome. Law background से है कोई यहाँ पे?
Sir, all
Anyway.
are from management.
All are from management.
Sir, this from our law background.
Never an issue. This is how management, I used to like it very much. This market challenger, market pioneers is still in my brain. Market pioneer is the business, comes into the market first hand. R&D के ऊपर they invested, gets the customer, first mover advantage, we are the market pioneers. Market challengers are the business which follow market pioneers. I gave you the example of Rapido and Ola. Rapido started with two-wheelers concept, Ola adopted it. So Rapido becomes pioneer, who market में पहले है, customers को adopt कर लिया, got the revenue. Ola says, he is earning, I'll also earn. They get into the business. They are close challenger. They give neck-to-neck competition to Rapido. Rapido gives you 80 rupees ka ride, Ola gives you 50. So they are giving neck-to-neck competition. This you cannot get registered. This is just a market business practice. Anything, please. If not, then next class is waiting for you.
Thank you, sir, for imparting your valuable knowledge to all of us.